Jared from Florida Freedivers. This week we have Summer with us. She's one of our new team divers for Florida Freedivers. So every Thursday at 6 o'clock, we're doing kind of like a tips and tricks, interview with divers and things like that to kind of bring it out there to all of you and opening up to some questions and answers as well. So within this segment, we're going to go over pretty much Summer's story, just to get started, which is kind of an interesting one to say the least. So Summer moved down here from New York to Key West, fell in love with the water. She's a level 3 certified freediver who started spearfishing a few years ago. And within just a couple of years, you've already checked off quite a impressive list of fish, right?
Oh yeah. It's been a good couple of years in the spearfishing world for me.
Yeah. So that includes your list of, let's see, 107-pound yellowfin tuna,
Hmm.
55-pound wahoo, and a 50-pound cobia, which
Hmm.
is that's sick. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Ray, you're super stoked on that. So she traded in her snowsuit for a wetsuit, right? And not look
Hmm.
back.
And I'm not going back.
That's awesome. So other thing about her too is if you ever hear anyone yelling or screaming underwater, it's probably Summer because of all the excitement
Always.
that goes on. So that's something that I'm sure within the videos you guys will hear sooner or later.
I know every time I'm on the boat with someone, they're like, "Oh my gosh, you just don't." I just get so excited.
Yeah, no, within good reason, right? Especially, I mean,
Yeah.
impressive fish list already. It's
I'm
awesome.
always yelling.
It's awesome. So just to go through a couple questions before we open it for just everyone else to ask some questions. One thing I want to start off with, some of the people we're interviewing and the divers and whatnot is going over what's your typical like morning routine that you're doing?
So with quarantine, I kind of was like, I never really had a morning routine before, but with things being so crazy, I kind of wanted to have one thing that was consistent. So that's when I kind of got the idea to, start making a morning routine and try to, get something consistent throughout the day where I can focus on, something being normal in life. So lately I've been waking up. I've always done this, but I wake up and I drink like warm lemon water or I'll do tea or something to, kind of get the digestive system going.
Same.
And I always would go to the gym, try to get, the blood flowing in the morning. But with quarantine, it's been hard. So I do my
Yeah.
little at-home workouts or go for a run, or I have like a stationary bike here that I've been trying to do. But I've started doing yoga and stretching, which I feel like has helped a lot too. But one thing I really want to start working on is like breathing techniques or, diaphragm exercises or something that I can like bring from my morning routine more into like my diving world too. So that's something I want to learn
Cool.
more
Cool.
on.
Yeah. Make sure you keep fresh and all that stuff and just ready to go in whenever you
Exactly.
want.
Yeah. Hmm.
Cool. Awesome. So how did you get started spearfishing?
It was kind of crazy. So after I graduated high school, my dad randomly one day was like, "Well, I'm moving to Key West," and I was like, "What is Key West?" So every summer break from college, I would spend my summer in the Keys, and people would always invite me out on the boat, and I was like, "I'm not going on the boat with a random person." So all 4 years of college, I'd never went on the boat, not once. And then so when I graduated college, my idea was that I would come to Key West, spend the summer, and then move to New York City because that's where my sister lived. But that changed when I, first time I ever went on a boat. I finally took someone up on the offer, and I had never heard of spearfishing. And they were like, "Oh, we're going spearfishing today if you want to come." And I was like, "Sure, I'm cool. I know what that is. Yeah, I'd love to." I had no idea. So it ended up actually being a really epic day. I got lucky that we went out and they were doing the whole blue water mahi thing. And so, yeah, we were out there and someone hooks up on a mahi and everyone gets ready, throws their dive gear on and jumps in. And I'm just sitting on the boat like, oh no, I don't know what to do. So I just like slowly got in the water too. And I kind of was like watching what they were doing. And I just remember I was like, I want to try this. And I just went up to someone with a spear gun and I grabbed the spear gun and I just shot a mahi. And I was like, okay, I'm addicted. So I had a really good like first experience. And so the group I was hanging out with, I was lucky that they're like incredible divers. So just from
Sure.
the beginning, it was never, hold my hand and teach me. They were like, well, we're going in 60, 70 feet today. If you can get down there, you can get down there. So I kind of like had to really push myself if I wanted to be on their level of diving.
Sure.
So I swam in college. So I did have the water background. I was comfortable, but it took me a lot to really, learn. I learned a lot from them. I got lucky. And so it was a good experience.
Yeah,
meeting
that's
that group
awesome.
of people. Yeah.
So first time right off the bat, you jump in the water and spear a mahi.
Yeah. I was like, ah, I'm lucky.
It's killer. That's
It was,
awesome.
yeah.
What's your favorite fish to kind of target hunting and spearing?
Oh, that's a good one. I love blue water, anything blue water. So Wahoo season is my absolute favorite. I'll, wake up at 3 in the morning to go shoot a Wahoo, but it's just, drifting in the blue, even if you don't see a fish all day, you're going to see something. Like every time I drift, it's, random. I've never seen a sailfish, but I've been like out in the water when someone else has seen a sailfish. The other day we saw a bluefin tuna down in the
Really?
Keys. That was
Wow.
crazy. So I love blue water, but Wahoo, I think for me, like when I started diving and I found out what a wahoo was, that was like my fish that I wanted to shoot. So, months and months, I would watch videos and I'd try to like prepare myself. And the first time I ever went blue water diving, and the first time I'd ever seen wahoo, and I forgot my fins. So I'm like swimming around, no fins. And then I wore my friend's fins that were huge. I like taped them to my foot. I'm swimming
Oh
around.
man.
But I remember the first time I saw a wahoo and I was like, oh my gosh, this is my dream. I didn't shoot on that day. It was not my day. But the next time we went out and I was like, okay, I'm prepared. But I think wahoo, I think as a diver, it teaches you a lot about diving because you really have to like have patience and you need to know distance with the fish. And that was kind of where I learned, it's not just about going out and shooting. You really have to get the technique down. And it
Sure.
was, yeah, wahoo's my favorite.
Sure. Are you like do you like throwing the spoon or are you like a flashers
I'm more of
person?
a CD, like hit him with the
Okay.
mixtape CD.
Okay. Gotcha.
but yeah, anything that really gets him. If I don't have a CD, I'll do this with my fingers and probably doesn't help, but I always try.
Yeah. Try to catch their attention somehow.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. So what are some of the spots that you've traveled to spearfish now that you're all into it?
So my first trip to actually spearfish somewhere else, I've done all over Florida, but Louisiana was the first one for the tuna.
Okay.
And it was crazy because I think I booked the ticket the night before we left. And I booked the ticket and the weather was all over the place. And we were like, you know what, we're just gonna do it. Let's just go. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But so we get there, we get to Venice and it was like, if anyone's been to Venice, it's just like a really cool, quirky little place. It's weird. But so we get there really late at night and we're diving in the morning, like 5 a.m. And we get to the boat and the bilge was broken. So he's in there like
Oh man.
fixing the bilge pump, and we were like, "Oh my god, are we gonna go?" And it was blowing. Oh, I've never been in seas that rough ever. Like
Really?
my dive buddy was throwing up, couldn't dive. Like it was really, really rough. But yeah, so that was my first trip, and I ended up landing the 107-pound tuna, which was just such a great experience. And then this past summer, I went to Montauk, which was great because I had no idea growing up in New York that there was spearfishing. I had no idea. So that was really cool. The water was freezing. That was my first time wearing like the full hood. And, I'm from Buffalo. So anytime it's like winter in the Keys, I'll be like in a swimsuit. I don't really ever wear a wetsuit. So I'm like in my hood with my little face. I'm like, I don't know how to get it on. It was crazy. But that was probably the craziest, coolest diving I've ever done just because the water was freezing. So, and it's like 5 foot of is,
Yeah.
and you're only diving in like 30, 40 feet. So when you jump and like you hop in and you can't see anything, so you're just like going down, going down, going down, and all of a sudden, boom, the bottom's there, and the current is ripping. So you're like holding on to something, trying to see these stripers. It was so cool. But yeah, so I shot a striper there. That was cool. Um, those are the only two places I've traveled. I went to Mexico for the AIDA course, so that was awesome to do in Mexico. But other than that, I really want to shoot a dog tooth. That's on my next on my list.
So where is I guess yeah, what's the next places that you do want to travel to shoot?
I really want to shoot in Fiji. That would be incredible. And Hawaii. I feel like Hawaii is definitely top on the list just because it's a little bit more deeper, difficult diving, and I finally feel like I'm ready for that next step. And North Carolina, they have the big hogs. I want to go there too.
Yeah, they
Just
have some big
everywhere.
stuff up there.
Oh
Definitely.
yeah. Hmm.
What's your best experience so far that now that you've been diving and all that stuff, what's kind of stood out from you so far as being your best experience?
Oh, the other day was my dream, the best experience. Um, I went on the boat with a couple of friends and we were riding out and we got caught in this crazy storm. And the whole way out, I'm just soaking wet, no foul weather gear, of course. I'm just like, oh my God, why am I doing this? And we get out there and, you know, we hop in, we don't really see any fish. We're just drifting. And then all of a sudden, my dreams come true. And I look over and there's a giant whale shark
Oh man.
swimming like right towards me. And I didn't even register at first that there were cobia on it. I just was like, oh my God, I've been waiting for this moment forever. And it was amazing. And so then I saw the cobia and I was like, okay, well, and in my head, I was like, you know, you don't want to go super close to the whale shark. You don't want to, and the cobias kept swimming off and swimming off of it and then coming back, swimming off. So I had to really time it to like get the right moment, but it was the craziest. And then we saw two more that day.
Wow. So
And
I bet there's a
I,
lot of like screaming underwater then, huh?
oh my, I was sobbing. I literally was like crying in my mask and like going up, and my friend was like, I have never seen anything like this. I was so happy. Oh yeah, I
That's
was
cool.
screaming all day. I mean, I'm still screaming about it. It was
That's
amazing.
sick. You get some good footage of it, or?
So I am just so annoying, and I didn't have my mask with the GoPro mount. So I'm
Oh
like
man.
swimming with my GoPro like in my hand. I'm sure if you guys have seen the video. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna try to get myself shooting the cobia, and I'm swimming down with the camera and my gun, and then all of a sudden I like drop the camera. I'm like trying to twist it. You know, I did the best I could, but I got a footage of the whale shark, which was really cool. But you better believe when I came up and bought the mask, I was like, I'm not doing that again. I'm not,
Yeah.
you know, not missing that again. So now I'm
Yeah.
ready. I have them out now.
That's awesome. So you said that you've taken off, different things from different divers and learning different things. Like, what are some of those things that you've probably been, what have you taken off of different divers that have benefited you as being a spearfishing woman?
So when I first started diving, I basically just dove with the same group, and that's great. They were incredibly knowledgeable. They taught me so much about hunting and, just being a better diver in general. And mostly like the spearfishing side. But now that I've been like diving with different people, I really think you learn so much, like just seeing like different techniques or different styles of diving or different styles of hunting. So, when I first started diving, it was never like free diving for me. It was just, get down and spearfish, shoot the fish. Like I never really thought about technique or, it wasn't free diving wasn't really on my mind. It was like spearfishing. But now that I've been learning so much more about free diving and, techniques and, how important it is to have that breath hold or to be able to, dive a little bit deeper, that's kind of where I focus now. It's not so much about shooting the fish. It's like becoming a better diver, which ultimately makes you a better hunter. And so that's what I've learned from, people I've been diving with recently is, relax. I'm not very relaxed, but I try, relax more. And it's been definitely helping me a lot in the water.
Nice. So,
Yeah.
what would be your best tip, I guess, for someone that might be newer, kind of getting into spearfishing? Just the relaxing in general, or?
Yeah, I would say, it is really easy to get worked up or excited. You see a fish and you go crazy and you want to shoot it. But I think the most important thing is just to be relaxed and, let your muscles relax and your brain kind of, not go crazy. You just have to breathe. And I think that's like the most important because once you're down at the bottom, you're going to want to have the bottom time to, not scare the fish. And you just sit, relax, wait for the fish to come to you. And they usually will. So.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So, I know you have a favorite spear gun that you like to use. What is that spear gun?
So I just shot the Rife Marauder for the first time a couple weeks ago when I shot actually my biggest wahoo. Um, Before that, I had really only had the biggest gun that I had shot was like the 130 Rife, the Euro, and that's my favorite gun. I still, I really think you can shoot any fish in the ocean with that gun. It's a great gun. But the Marauder, it was incredible. It's just a really powerful gun for the size of it. It's not too bulky. I never really wanted like a big, bulky blue water gun.
Right.
But the Marauder is it has the range, it has the power. I stoned my wahoo like instantly. It was the greatest thing ever. First time I shot it. So maybe I'm biased because I, fell in love with the gun instantly. But yeah, I think overall it's just a really great gun.
Are you a float line or a reel person?
For blue water, I am a float line all the way. Mostly, I like to have the float and the float line because I know when I'm driving the boat in the blue water, it's easier for me to kind of see where the divers are. So I like the idea of that as well. But I'm always like, if I'm shooting a wahoo, I'm landing the wahoo. Like, it's cool to shoot it on a real gun, but I like to make sure I'm gonna land it. So I have it. So I'm
Cool.
a, yeah, I like the float and float line.
Cool. So, yeah, if you guys have some questions for Summer, definitely put them in the comments and feel free. We'll get her to answer some. Scott is asking, what's up, Scott? Talk about the black grouper that you shot recently.
He's talking about just, oh my God. Well, I went diving with him one time and I shot a black grouper in the face, and it was my probably 50 pounds, like my
Oh,
dream
wow.
fish. We've been chasing it for probably like a good hour. And it kept going from hole to hole. And it just, normally you see it go in a hole and it's going to stay there. This one just couldn't make up his mind. So the first, hole he went into, it was very shallow, would have been an easy shot. But I had been kicking so much, I needed to breathe up. So I was taking a second to breathe up. And as I'm about to go down, he swims into another hole. And I'm like,
Man.
oh my God, I'm so tired. So finally, he goes into another hole and I check the one side, not there. So then I check the other side and I'm in there with the flashlight and I just see his mouth sticking out and I'm like, yes, this is my dream. I probably celebrated too early, but yeah, as I shot it, I must have hit him in the gill plate or wherever's the hardest part of his face, and he just shook and tore out and then went into
Oh,
the most
man.
impossible hole ever. So Scott's never gonna let me live that down. I'm never gonna let myself live that down.
Yeah, those fish are tough. I think everyone's got some of those stories,
Oh
back
yeah,
in the
that's
back of their
just,
mind that just haunt them.
I still have nightmares about it.
Yeah. Don't wait for tomorrow wants to know what size Marauder.
I have the 63, so the largest one that you can get. I think they make them in two other smaller sizes, but I got the big blue water gun because I shoot my 120 euro in the reef, so I needed like the blue water, and I love it. It's like perfect, perfect.
Cool. Yeah, that's a good gun. I've seen them in the shop quite a bit, and definitely they're popular too. I think it's a little newer design from what I
Mm-hmm.
know, but they're uh, they're definitely becoming more and more popular, and I've been seeing them kind of being bought a lot lately.
Yeah,
So,
I'm coming,
Casper,
Casper. I'm taking you
yeah,
up on that.
yeah, you got to go over there and see Casper over there for a big black grouper. So, what's going on, Nick? How are you? Yeah, so if you guys have any other questions and stuff, definitely throw them in the comments. Where was that big black grouper at?
It was right off of Jupiter, which is crazy because apparently they don't see like a ton of blacks up there, but I got lucky and it was amazing.
Nice. Don't wait for tomorrow. Do you pole spear at all?
I do. So I just I've been to the Bahamas a couple of times. I mostly started in Bimini. That's when I started using a pole spear. Other than that, I haven't been to. I've been to Treasure Cay diving and a couple other spots in the Bahamas, but I'm still, really getting the pole spear. I like it better than the gun just because it's more, primitive and you have to get a little bit closer to the fish and it's more of a challenge. So that's
Sure.
really cool. But, I'm no expert yet. So I need to keep practicing with it. But yeah, I do. I really like using the pole spear.
Well, I think we're getting over to Long Island, Bahamas, late July or something like that. So definitely have some options there.
Ooh,
You
I gotta practice.
yeah, yeah, me too. SoFlo spearfishing. Where do you want to destination spear? So I think you already answered that. That was Fiji.
Fiji. Even I want to do California for a bluefin. That's big on my list as well. Yeah, Fiji's like would be my top spot that I want to go to, but so many places.
So Nick Bailey asks, "What's your personal best hogfish?"
Oh, I shot. I think it was around 12 pounds in the Keys, which is a big hogfish for the Keys. But I'm like, I don't know what it is about hogfish, but shooting like a 20-pound hog is probably like top on my bucket list. Like up there with dogtooth tuna. I think big hogs are really cool. I mean, they might not be the hardest to shoot, but yeah, I don't know, that's up there for me.
That's why you want to go to North Carolina.
Exactly. That's why I want to go to North Carolina. They have the big
Yeah.
ones there.
Yeah, that's a good size, 12 pound though. Even yeah, Nick's saying too, like that's a big hogfish down there.
I
12
could
pounds,
not
nice.
believe it for Key West. It was, we normally see even anything like up to 7, 8 pounds is big for the Keys. And I
Yeah.
was like, someone had shot like a 7 pounder on the dive before at the same spot. And I was like, oh, come on. Why couldn't I have shot that? Like, I was like, man.
Yeah.
And the next drop, I shot it and I was like, this is so exciting. I was so happy.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I think some of the new regulations too are really helping them come back. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
definitely
no,
a
I've
plus.
definitely seen, even in the shallows. I was diving the shallows the other day off the Keys, and I saw some good size. This is before hogfish season, but I was like, oh my gosh, I've never seen so many big hogs in the shallows. So that was really cool to see.
So SoFlo spearfishing. What's one of your favorite wrecks?
Um, It depends. You know, we have a lot of wrecks here in Key West. The Vandenberg is really cool. That's the first wreck I ever dove. Holds a lot of great fish. People shoot APs on it, which is one of my dreams as well. I've never seen one, but it's a really cool wreck. And sometimes if you get lucky, I think the deck is like 80, 85, and sometimes the blacks will kind of hang out on that wreck, so that's cool. And we have another wreck in the Keys that came in. That one's great too. It's a little bit shallower. It's like 70, 80. And same thing, that tons of groupers on that. So those are probably my two favorite wrecks.
Yeah, I think the Vandenberg is probably one of the places that I've seen the most barracuda
Oh
around
my
in
gosh. They're
one
like
place.
squatted up at
Yeah,
the top. There's like hundreds
yeah,
of them.
it's crazy.
It's
I
cool
was so
though.
surprised. So don't wait for tomorrow. What is your deepest dive right now?
This is bad, but I never wear a watch. But I've 110 I did in my course. So that was the deepest that I've like actually went down and like touched and tried to go deep. But yeah, so 110 is my deepest. But usually when I'm hunting, depends on the day, but 80s like a good hunting depth for me. I would like to improve that. Obviously, this year is like the year I want to focus more on free diving versus actually shooting fish. But yeah, and I need to start wearing a watch so I can actually know.
Yeah, sometimes it's better not to watch, not to have a watch on though. Get
That's
out of
why
your
I've never really, cared just because I'm like, however I'm feeling today is how I want to dive.
yeah, it's good.
Place.
It's good. Matt Bailey diving. When is the Bahamas opening back up? I Your question is my question. I think what is a lot of people have the same
Everyone.
question. They all
Yeah.
want to know that. Spearfishing Naples, Florida. So do you have any world records or do you have any in your sights that you're trying to go after?
I do. So I have Blackfin Tuna on spear gun, which that one still holds, so that's cool. And then I had Kubera on spear gun, which I think somebody broke, I want to say within the past year or 2 years, and same with Amberjack on pole spear. So I had
Nice.
those ones. So the only one I still have is Blackfin Tuna on spear gun, which that was a really cool experience. So that was cool. Do I want to? Yes, I want to shoot 100-pound wahoo on a spear gun, and I also want to pole spear a wahoo. So
Oh
next
wow.
wahoo season, that's really, really what I'm not even gonna bring a gun. I just want to pole spear one.
That'd be sick.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
that's my.
SoFlo spearfishing. What is your favorite fish to eat?
Ooh, that's tough. Wahoo. I love wahoo and AP. They're just delicious. I love sashimi, so that's the best for me. And
Yeah.
hogfish. Everyone loves hogfish. It's fantastic, but I just love wahoo.
Yeah,
So
definitely
good.
walk is really good. Cobia is pretty close too.
Oh, Kobe is delicious.
Yeah.
First time I ever had cobia, I ordered it at like a restaurant, I don't know, and I'm from Buffalo, so I love buffalo sauce and ranch. So I had like buffalo fried cobia, and I was like, this really just tastes like chicken. Like I'm kind of underwhelmed, but obviously I shouldn't have gotten it like that. And the time after that I had it, I was like, oh my god, this is like the best white meat. It's so good. I love
Yeah.
all fish though, but
Yeah. That's
it's so
good.
good.
So talk about that record that you have, that Blackfin Tuna. What's that record at?
I think so. I think this one was at 19 pounds, and then I shot a 26-pounder in Louisiana, which I never entered since I already had it. I was like, I'll just keep the first one. But
Really?
yeah, it was crazy. So the boys were like, "Oh, we're going out to the shrimp boats and we're gonna shoot tunas," and I was like, "Oh, okay." Like thinking, I have no idea. I've never done that before. And we get out there and we pull up to the shrimp boats, and the shrimpers were like, "You're not gonna get in there. You're not." And I was like, why? I'm getting in. And I look down and there's just like hundreds of sharks, which is fine. I wasn't like nervous or anything. I was just naive at the point. So I was like, oh, it's fine. Don't worry about it. And so it happened. And there are sharks everywhere. And they just come, they don't even care. They come right up to you and you know, they just act like you're just a piece of the chum that the shrimpers are dropping. But it was such a cool experience. And you go and there's just underneath the layer of sharks, there's just tunas everywhere. And so that I was kind of nervous. I was like diving a little bit, coming back up, diving a little bit, coming back up, like nervous. But then finally I was like, oh, I'm doing this. And it was just the greatest experience. And saying actually Louisiana was even better because there wasn't a single shark. It was
Really?
just tunas were popping everywhere. So he would like run me over where he saw the tunas. This is after I shot the yellowfin. we didn't see any more yellowfins after I shot one. So then we were doing the blackfins. And yeah, so he would see them bust anywhere and he just would like run me over with the boat and I just like literally fall over the side of the boat and like go chase the tunas around. So that was really cool. That was, I just love shooting tunas. I love shooting tunas.
So a 19-pound blackfin is on record. You shot a 26-pound and didn't even register
And
it.
no, I should have, but we were
Wow.
in Louisiana and we just, I don't even, you have to have a certified scale and we didn't
Right.
have certified. It was just like the Marina scale. So I was like, oh, it's just going to be a lot of effort to, try to find someone. But I'm going to shoot a bigger one next year.
That's a great
I want to go back
attitude.
to Louisiana. That's just like, I still haven't dove the oil rigs. So that's something I want to do too.
Yeah, yeah, I heard that's really nice over there, and they got a whole lot
Mm-hmm.
of fish on them.
Oh, yeah.
So spearfishing Naples Sport, women's pole spear world records are wide open. So are you
I know.
targeting anything specific besides the wahoos?
Tuna. I think a tuna would be amazing too. I think a tunas are definitely doable. Um, I've shot, decent sized mutton on a pole spear, but I think the world record's like 12 or 14 pounds. So I want to work on that one too. But, you know, hopefully I can get a couple this year with my pole
Yeah.
spear. If the Bahamas ever opens back up. Or I could use it down here too. But
Yeah, there's a pretty good mutton spawn down by you.
oh yeah, we have a like crazy mutton spawn down here. That's yeah, I dove it a couple times. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's crazy to see too. Though. They're just everywhere, and it seems like it's more curious than they know what's good for them.
Oh yeah, it's insane. They just come. They just literally swarm you.
Yeah. Captain Josh, Key West, I'm assuming KW. What's your craziest experience in Key West?
Dive wise, or what kind of experience, Josh? I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a tough one. Key West is just. I mean, if you've been here, it's a really fun, crazy place. But I think everywhere I dove, it's definitely the best diving that we have. When the water's clear, it's just unbeatable. So I've had too many good experiences in Key West to narrow it down our craziest.
Yeah. I know a lot of people always ask, so what do you do when the sharks are around when you're spearfishing? What's your mindset on that?
I kind of take it as, when I'm in the moment, I'll read the situation. Like if I feel like a shark is, not going to give up or it's pressing me too much or I feel like it's, being a little bit more aggressive, then I'll get out of the water. But usually I've had a couple experiences that, it could get a little bit sketchy, but that's usually, I always know I'm in their territory. Like this isn't my home, this is their home. So if I just try to be respectful, if I'm shooting fish and, I see a shark come after my fish, I just kind of like let it. I'm not going to pull my fish, to me and put myself in danger. So I just kind of let it go. But usually, like recently, the sharks have been pretty bad here. So we'll just do, buddy system. So say someone's dropping down to shoot a fish, just like have their back. And if you see the fish going nuts and the shark's following the fish, we just, try to poke them away with the spear gun, without harming the sharks or anything. But I have
Yeah.
noticed they've been pretty bad lately.
There's a couple resident great whites down there too, from what I've heard.
I would love to see one. I would love to see one. Of course, in the water, I would probably be a little bit nervous if I saw it. But if I was on the boat, I'd probably jump in.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I probably would.
So I'm sorry if I've mispronounced this. Yugo, we'll go with Yugo. So loading your tuna gun yourself, what kind of technique are you using to load the guns?
So when I first started, I had the hardest time loading a spear gun. Like I was such a clown. I could not do it. Like no matter how many times someone tried to teach me, it was so hard. But so I have it down now. I just, it's hard with the longer guns to really get it all the way down. But yeah, I just recently have been able to just like now I can like do it quick and get it good. But I don't really have a certain technique. I use the double like this, pull like this. That
Yeah.
helps me more.
I
But
know an
yeah.
easy one that I've seen is, if you take the handle and kind of grab one side of the band and then push the handle out so that,
Yeah, that's
you
what I
know,
do. Grab the band and then, push the handle here
yeah,
and then pull. It's a little bit easier, but
yeah,
yeah,
for
it's
sure.
tough with the longer guns. And especially now in like the summertime when I'm not gonna be wearing a wetsuit, it's a little bit harder. So I'll usually just use my 120 or yeah, so I don't have to put too much effort in it.
Yeah, for sure. Is your 120s a Euro? So two bands?
Yeah, the Euro, yeah.
Gotcha.
Love
Cool.
it.
So it's 6:30, guys, and thank you very much, Summer, for being on here with us. Next Thursday, we're going to have James Ferreira going over photography. So if you guys have any questions for James, feel free to direct message us or send them into the shop, and we can answer all your questions. This segment's going to go on YouTube with a link to the Rife Marauder, which is Summer's gun, pretty much, which he loves. So if you guys want to go back in there, ask any questions for Summer or the shop, feel free to get on the YouTube as well. And thank you so much for coming. And I hope we get to dive
Thank you.
soon. And the
That was
Keys is
fun.
awesome.
Yes, I'll see you soon. I'll be up probably this week or next, so I'll see you.
Okay, cool. All right, I'll see you soon. Thanks, Summer.
Bye. Thank
All right,
you.
bye.